Has anyone ever told you what could go wrong when buying a house? Don't be fooled to think that the home buying process is all rainbows and unicorns. There are numerous things that can go wrong, many that could have been avoided if you'd only been given better advice. I'm here to spill the beans, and it starts right now. Welcome back to Real Estate in the 757. Buying a home is an exciting time, but if you think it's a simple process that always goes smoothly, you're sadly mistaken. There are a myriad of problems that can arise during a transaction. But if you aren't aware of what could go wrong, how could you possibly work to avoid them? So, today I'm going to go over the top 7 things that can and often do go wrong when buying a home so you can avoid these costly mistakes. Number 1, skipping pre-approval. Do not make this common mistake. There are a few reasons why you don't want to skip the step. First up, you might have thought you could use a website online to try and see what you could afford. But what you didn't know was that there's more to buying a home than just the purchase price. You may not have taken into consideration what the estimated taxes were, how much you'd need for your down payment or in closing costs. You may have been unrealistic about the current interest rates, which greatly affects your monthly mortgage payment. So, you go out house hunting, you find one that you've fallen in love with. However, now you come to find out it's really outside of your price range and you're heartbroken. Buying a home is an emotional roller coaster, so don't skip this step because you need to be realistic with your search parameters. And secondly, in a competitive market where homes aren't lasting long on the market, if you haven't chosen a lender yet or gotten the pre approval prior to begin looking at homes, and then you find one you want to make an offer on, but you don't have that pre approval letter yet. And that could delay getting your offer in, and the home could go under contract before you even get everything together. Here in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, a seller won't even consider an offer without a pre approval letter from a lender. So to skip the step could cost you literally the deal. You need to talk with a lender who's a pro who can assess your finances, advise you on what loan product would make the most sense for you, and who can also run the numbers so you know upfront what all of the fees would be to purchase a home and at various price points as well. All right, number 2, overextending financially. Chances are your home will need some TLC in the coming few years. You need to be realistic about those costs and make sure that you have some money left over after your mortgage payment to plan for things that need to be repaired in the coming years. So, the 3 biggest expenses for a home are going to be the HVAC, the roof, and the windows. The water heater is another one that's important, but it's less expensive by far. So, in my book, not as critical as the other 3. More than likely, the home you purchase won't have all of those 3 things brand new unless you purchase new construction. So I tell my buyers that we'll be happy to find that one of the top 3 have been recently replaced. If we find a home where 2 have been done, we're doing a happy dance. And if all 3 have recently been done, well, let's just say we'd be beyond ecstatic and would want to do whatever we could to get that home. There are many advantages to buying a home, but don't think that things won't break or need attention in the coming years. You've got to be able to keep a little in reserves to handle any unforeseen emergencies. Number 3, choosing the wrong location. A dream home in the wrong area can lead to regret. There is a reason why you'll hear the phrase location, location, location. It's just so important. Where that home is located makes all the difference. So you need to research schools. You want to research commute times and the local amenities to ensure that the location fits your lifestyle. Know what is most important to you and work to stay true to that. Realtors are held to ethical standards and cannot lead you to or away from an area, so you must do your own research. You can search for local crime stats as well. I always suggest drive the areas within a close radius to the home that you're considering. Check the drive to and from work to know the rush hour traffic and how that might affect your commute. I also want you to think about what could affect your sell. We also want you to think about what could affect you selling the home down the road. You may not care about being right beside a railroad track, but would that hinder someone else? Or what about just the road noise or where it's located on the street? All of those things are important. It's a lot to consider and think over, so you're making a wise and informed decision. Number four, skipping inspections. Okay, unless you're an investor and planning on doing a major overhaul on a property, you do not want to skip the inspections. The main two inspections are going to be the home inspection and then the termite and moisture inspection. In our area, the home buyer is going to pay for the home inspection, and typically the seller is going to pay for the termite and moisture inspection. The home inspection gives you an overview of the property from the age of the systems, like the HVAC, the roof, and the windows we were talking about earlier, the water heater, but it's also going to go over the type of plumbing used in the home. It's a lot of information to teach you the ins and outs of the home. The inspector is going to open up all the windows, open and close doors, look for wood rot, check all the outlets throughout. They're going to take a look at the electrical panel, checking the safety of the wiring and that everything is grounded as it should be. They'll be looking at the roof and all of the exterior, checking the structural components of the home. They're going to check the appliances. That's what else. They're going to check under the home to the crawl space, and they're even going to go into the attic. Your inspection report is going to be pages and pages and pages long, full of good information, along with some minor concerns, and then also the major concerns. It's a really good overview of the home and incredibly helpful and necessary for anyone wanting to purchase a home. Do not skip this step. If the home has a pool, you might want to add in to have that inspected by a pool company. If there's an irrigation system, that could be worth having a separate inspection for as well. If your home inspector doesn't go onto the roof, some do and some don't, and we already know that the roof has some significant age to it, you might want to have the roof inspected separately as well. You have the right as the buyer to add in additional inspections should you want to. I also want to add that if in your purchase contract, the seller is choosing the termite and moisture inspector, you might want to be sure to add into that should your home inspector call something out different that their termite and moisture inspector does not, that you have the right to get a separate termite moisture inspection done, kind of like a second opinion. I have seen this happen too many times and can cause a big problem if something is missed. Sometimes when big things arise on the inspection, it may be the right decision to walk away. There is no shame in doing that. It's a contingency that's built right into your offer, and you do have the right to walk away within your inspection contingency window. More times than not, things can be dealt with and handled. Repairs can be negotiated for the seller to take care of and have completed prior to closing. But if you aren't happy with the negotiations, if the seller won't agree to do what's needed to keep you happy and willing to move forward in the transaction, or if you no longer want the home because there's just too many items popping up or something big that you just weren't anticipating, you have the right to terminate the contract and walk away from the deal. No harm, no foul. Just disappointment all around. No one wants to see a contract terminated, but sometimes it's the right. Number five, low appraisal. The dreaded low appraisal happens. What happens if the appraisal comes in lower than your purchase price on the contract? This can be a major setback. A low appraisal means your lender won't cover the full purchase price of the home, your contract sales price. That's going to leave you to either have to make up the difference or renegotiate with the seller. Your realtor should have checked comps, the homes that have recently sold within close proximity to the one that you're under contract on. They should have checked that when you initially wrote your offer. So hopefully you were somewhat prepared that this was a very real possibility. Usually we have a good gauge on that. In this scenario, there are a few options to keep things moving forward. You as the buyer could agree to cover that difference in price, or the seller could agree to negotiate the sales price down to its appraised value. Or option number three, perhaps you negotiate somewhere in the middle to where you as the buyer cover a little bit extra in cash at closing and the seller has also come down, and that kind of helps us to make everybody happy on both sides. At any rate, some discussions and negotiations have to take place to deal with a low appraisal. Now, for my VA buyers, my military or veterans buying a home, how you handle things is just a little different because when that appraiser lets the lender know that the home did not appraise at the contract sales price, what's called the Tidewater Initiative is put into play. And this gives the realtors about 48 hours to put together three additional comps to challenge the low appraisals, essentially aiming to show that the homes that have sold support your contract sales price. And the appraiser will take those into consideration and then reevaluate before giving their final reported value. An appraiser can also request certain repairs to be done in order to be approved, which can be another delay in the appraisal process. When this happens, let's say the appraiser called out some wood rot somewhere on the exterior of the home. The seller would have to get this repair done, and then the appraiser would have to go back out to recheck it and check off that it's been done and completed. The appraisal is typically ordered once the home inspection contingency has been removed. So, depending on how long that took, and then how many days it was before the appraiser got out to do the appraisal, all of that can affect keeping you on track to hit closing without any delays. Number six, financing falls through. Financing can sometimes fall through. Part of that is not having a pro lender helping the buyer from the get go. Perhaps the lender hadn't done a thorough check into the buyer's credit or financial situation. Perhaps the buyer loses their job midway and now the loan can't go through. Perhaps the buyer wasn't advised not to go make any big purchases before closing and they decided that they needed a shiny new car to go in that beautiful new driveway. However, in doing so, their loan was just denied because now their debt to loan ratio has gone off the charts. So here's a hint: no big purchases when you're under contract. Okay. Until you've closed and been handed those keys, do not go and make any big purchases. Also, do not go and open up any new lines of credit. So don't go to the furniture stores, open up a new line of credit to pay for the new furniture you need for those rooms in your new house. All right. Do not make any changes to your finances when buying a house. This is a big no no and could cause your loan to be denied. And finally, number seven, delays in closing. This can and does happen. Remember that appraisal coming in low? That can cause a delay, but there's other reasons that delays can occur as well. There could be a mechanic's lien on the home from, a few owners ago, and they'll have to work through that so that clear title can be given. If the lender hasn't gotten the loan approved from their underwriter in a timely manner, that can cause some delays as well. I've said this over and over again: who you choose to be your lender matters. It matters because a closing delay leads to other problems, right? Typically, you, as the buyer, are coordinating everything around your closing date: when the movers are coming, getting utilities turned on into your name, the specific move in date to your new beautiful home. All the things hinge on things staying on track. The lender is a crucial piece of that puzzle. So ask your realtor for some lender referrals. Trust me, they have some on their nice list and they have some on their naughty list. No one loves for delays to come into play. They cause many problems and issues across the board for both the buyer and sellers and just leads to a lot of additional stress. You should also know that the listing agent, when presenting your offer to their sellers, will share any issues they've ever experienced with the lender you plan on using. So remember, here in my area, that information is on the purchase contract. And also, the pre approval letter is going to be attached to your offer as well. So they're going to see what lender you have chosen. When I represent a seller and that offer comes in, you better believe that's one of the first things I'm looking for right after their offer price. The lender you choose matters, their reputation matters, and it could affect your offer being accepted. Definitely ask around and do your research. Buying a home is a big decision. It's a great step to growing wealth and a fabulous investment to make, and it should be celebrated. It's a very exciting time. But being aware of these potential pitfalls can help you navigate the process with confidence. Remember, preparation and due diligence are your best tools. Make sure you have a pro agent, a pro realtor to walk alongside you who knows how to handle any of these pitfalls. They should be your advisor, your advocate from start to finish. They should be helping you with any complication that comes up. taking care of and handling any concerns to keep your stress levels down. If you're looking to make a move anytime in 2025, let's get connected, grab coffee together, or schedule a Zoom call. It's never too early to begin the discussion. You can call, text, or email me. I would love to help you find a new place to call home. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Until next time.